How to get out of the rut. Usually ruts are low self-esteem places, like you feel hopeless, you're doing all the bad habits, you're staying up late, you're sleeping in, you're eating lots of junk food, and you usually just feel like utter shit. I was in quite a bad rut about 3 months ago. I had really bad insomnia, I wasn't sleeping very well. Even when I was sleeping in. But my first step that I did to change my life to get out of the rut was to figure out what my purpose is. To figure out your purpose, asking yourself, who do you want to be in 5 years' time? What do you want to have in 5 years' time if everything goes to plan in terms of your body, your face, your charisma, the amount of income you have, your career, your passions, your side passions, your friendships? Where do you want to be in 5 years if everything works out perfectly for you? And this gives you clarity on your purpose. And what I'd recommend is to set out these different categories and write them out and visualize yourself being this person, and this should really motivate you. Listen, I understand being in a rut, you don't want to do anything. So if this feels too difficult for you, the best thing to do is set the bar manageable and low. You have to lower the bar to what is manageable and what is actionable. So for example, you could, setting these goals out, setting where you want to be in 5 years, you could do 2 minutes. Do 2 minutes, and if it's too hard to write out, voice record yourself of doing it. Or if that's even too hard, do 30 seconds and then do 30 seconds the next day. And then when you feel a bit more comfortable, do 45 seconds the next day. It's like if you were to do 5 minutes of something every day in a week, that's 35 minutes in a week. Don't forget, small actions have big consequences down the line. So don't feel too bad. Lower your ego, understand it's a long journey sometimes when trying to get out of this, and taking small actionable steps can be useful. What I personally found that helped get me out of a rut was understanding the type of person who I want to be. This person in 5 years' time does not align with my current identity, this identity of feeling like I'm a loser, I'm sleeping in, I'm doing all the bad habits, I'm eating junk food, I'm obsessively having McDonald's, right? This doesn't align with who I want to be. So to change this identity, we've got to think of keystone habits. And keystone habits are like habits that can set off a chain reaction of positivity or negativity. So keystone habits, they're good ones, but for example, you can have keystone habits of bad ones. So say maybe you go on porn, and then after you go on porn, you feel like shit, so you nap, and then it fucks with your sleeping pattern, and then you stay up and have junk food. The opposite of that is have an early night, and then you wake up, have a shower, then you meditate, and then you work out, and then 'cause you worked out, you want to work on your business and all this. So the best things to do is to try and figure out keystone habits. And then what you want to do is you just want to make it manageable. You just want to start it small and build up, like I said before. So say if you want to start with the keystone habit of working out, well then maybe work out for a minute, and then the next day do a minute and a half, and then the next day do 2 minutes, until you eventually slowly building up and building this identity and the discipline behind it. And also, if you're in a rut, you're probably struggling to get out of bed on time. What I'd suggest is, actually, if you're in a rut, and this is something that changed my life with keystone habits so easily, and I mentioned this in most of my videos recently, but it's so important, it's such an easy way to change who you are, change your identity when you're in a rut is. And if you don't agree with this because you think, oh no, I don't want to do that because I'm going to miss out on using my phone, then do you want to stay in a rut? Do you want to stay in a rut? Basically, what I did was, when I was in a rut, I took the screen time app on the iPhone and I set it for all my apps to lock out after 1 minute. So I use about 5 apps, so after about 5 minutes of use, all my apps were locked out. And it had a password which I didn't know, and my mum knew it. And I made an agreement with my mum, you know this password, I don't. It can only be undone once I've been up and done my morning routine. So then I had access to my Snapchat, my YouTube and all that stuff. But at 12 o'clock, my phone would lock out, 5 minutes past 12. After I used all the apps, my phone would lock out. I've got nothing else to do. Then I'd end up going to sleep. A week of doing that, I didn't need it anymore. It was an identity, it was a habit. Because I felt the benefit of getting up early, of going to sleep early on my self-esteem. And then to get up out of bed, which I always struggle with, I use the barcode alarm. So a barcode alarm is this app. Basically, you pick any household item that you can scan with a barcode, and you scan it before, leave it somewhere else outside your room, and then you have to travel and scan it off to turn the barcode alarm off. So the combination of, if you're in a rut, right, the combination of using these two things, you're going to sleep early, which is probably not what you're doing if you feel terrible about yourself, and then it's actually getting you up out of bed. Plus, with a habit contract, you could use these two things, then you go and sleep earlier, than you probably were doing before, and then you're getting up, and then you could use a habit contract to go to the gym. These 3 things could set off a chain reaction of change your life. And if you were slowly starting to build a routine after a bit of time and slowly starting to build things up with the habit contract and using these keystone habits and stuff like that, then just keep adding little bits to the momentum, keep it going. Because once you stop having the momentum, things can just stop completely and habits can break. So that's my personal advice of how I've overcome a rut. And I've been in a rut for probably most of my teenage life. It is doable, and you can change your identity because I've done it.